Ohio Athletic Association from enforcing a rule that would forfeit the Panthers' 7 wins this year. Channel 3's Kay Colby is standing by. She is live at the site of tonight's game at Euclid. And Kay, tell me, what's the mood there now?
Well, Connie, this latest court action has only strengthened school spirit. In just about an hour, the Euclid Panthers will take on the Bearcats here at Bedford High. And the Panthers plan to win here on the football field, as well as win their final battle in court. The halls of Euclid High School are packed with spirit when it comes to football.
We're #1, and we will be #1 no matter what you people say.
The Ohio High School Athletic Association's decision to make the Panthers forfeit their first 7 games sacks the team's chance at a state title. The controversy centers on the eligibility of senior cornerback Marcos Gomez. His mother moved out of the district last spring, but the 18-year-old student continued at Euclid while living with another family. To be eligible to play, he had to prove he was self-supporting, something school administrators thought they had done.
We had affidavits signed that he lived at the address. Our homeschool counselors checked it out to make sure it was true.
But the association says the school failed to file the proper eligibility form required by its bylaws. Euclid officials say they were unaware of it. Administrators, students, and parents say the punishment is much too harsh for what amounts to a technical error.
Get us for something big. You know, if we do something really big, really bad, then nail them.
None of these young men on this ball club had anything to do with this, and yet they're the ones that are suffering. There's no justice.
We're out there playing the football games, and we're not supposed to worry about the paperwork and everything else. We're out there to play the game, tackle, hit, run, score points.
The real fight now will not be fought on the field, but in court. School administrators have instructed their attorneys to play to win.
We've told them to do anything legally possible to save our kids, save our season.
Late this afternoon, the Panthers scored their first legal victory by getting a temporary restraining order against those forfeitures. There will be a final hearing on the matter Wednesday. Meanwhile, Athletic Association board members are sticking by their initial decision. They say if they make an exception for Euclid, they'd only open the door for future problems. Connie?
A lot of people wondering what's going to happen here. Thank you very much. Leon.
The Euclid High Panthers know the rules of football on the field, but it's another rule that has the team angry and confused tonight and threatens a winning season.
Good evening. The good news for Euclid High School tonight is that a judge has at least temporarily restored its undefeated record.
But only until a formal hearing that takes place next week. David Christopher tells us tonight the team is sticking together, defending a player they say is the victim of an unfair rule.
The judge's order was a shot in the arm after the team's 8-0 dream season was shattered yesterday when the State Athletic Association ordered them to forfeit 7 games. The team allegedly failed to submit paperwork to make Marcos Gomez, a self-sufficient reserve player, eligible to play in those 7 games.
100% behind Marcus. We're all friends with him, and that never stopped us from being friends because we all knew that it wasn't his fault, and now we're just trying to play football and go 9-0.
I'm worried about whether we're eligible or not, whether we're going to the playoffs, or, you know, there's a whole bunch of stuff.
Coach Tom Bank tonight told me that if anyone is to blame, it's the school for not filling out the paperwork. But instead, Bank says the entire team is now being penalized.
It was not done in malice. We did not recruit the boys to have a winning team. These boys worked hard for this, and now some state ruling because we didn't turn in a piece of paper is going to try to penalize these boys.
All these adults on this board, this is all they have to talk about, and put this on 16, 17, 18-year-old students. I think it's a disgrace.
As you can tell, the players and fans at tonight's game are aware that the most important battle of the year will not be fought out here on the football field, but instead inside a courtroom where a lot more will be on the line than just football. David Christopher, News Channel 5.
The player in question has lived in Euclid now for the past 7 years, but is currently living there with another family. Now, under the rules, a player who does not live with his parents or his legal guardian must file to be self-supporting. Nev will have more on the game as the news continues. Going to win.
33 is off to the races at Bedford. Jernigan rushed for 227 yards. The Panthers overcame 48 hours of turmoil to beat Bedford 40-14. As good as Jernigan was, he was one up by teammate Pepe Pearson. He had 240 yards in this touchdown, and Euclid, thanks to a temporary restraining order, is 9-0 pending a hearing on the forfeits. Lucky River.
But because of an ineligible player, that may soon change. Alan DiPietro is live at the Justice Center with details. Alan, is it thumbs up or thumbs down for Euclid?
We don't know yet, Ted. The hearing's still going on. It's been going on since about 2 this afternoon up in the Justice Center in the Common Pleas courtroom of Judge Bert Griffin. He says it'll continue into the night. He'll hear all the evidence, and he expects a decision sometime this weekend. Now, here is what is at issue in this case. 18-year-old Marcos Gomez, the Euclid High football player, is an adult. Is he able to fend for himself, even though his mother has moved from Euclid to Brunswick, and whether Euclid must forfeit 7 of the victories in which Marcos played? Here's part of the attorney's battle in court.
That he is in fact his own parent and is properly a resident of Euclid for all eligibility purposes under the Ohio High School Athletic Association.
We believe the evidence will show that Euclid High School and the Euclid City Schools were never confused about the fact that there were regulations in addition to 3313.64, and that they knew that they had to provide information to the Ohio High School Athletic Association.
Now, what is making this case all the more complicated is Judge Griffin has ordered that attorney you just saw there from the Ohio High School Athletic Association to contact at least 8 high schools in the area to see if they want to give testimony here and make comment on this case, because their football teams could be affected by how Judge Griffin rules. They include Berea, Mid-Park, Lakewood, Eastlake North, Brunswick, Barberton, Mentor, and Kent Roosevelt. The high school football season winds up this weekend. The playoffs begin a week this weekend, but they have to have the pairings done in Columbus Sunday night. So it's getting complex and it's getting frustrating here.
Hey, this is a mess. You're right, Alan. It is complicated with a capital C there.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Well, I think it's time for the 3 of us to go on the record here. How do we feel about the Euclid thing?
Well, I think that they should have an 8-0 record. No, definitely. Extenuating circumstances prevail in this case.
He's lived there since the 5th grade.
Yeah.
He's not even, you know, if he were the star player, maybe, but this is just a technical.
Not even if he was a star.
And there are bigger fish deciding if they